Every day, more and more road users are filming their journeys, which can often end in disaster. Pioneered by motorists in Russia and Eastern Europe, dashboard-mounted cameras are constantly recording our behavior on the roads. From the bizarre, to the ridiculous, the funny, to the downright dangerous. The thousands and thousands of dash cams around the world have captured just about every mishap you can think of. Now we're going to delve into this treasure trove of stupidity on the roads. Put things right by pointing the finger of blame. Replay the action to see what really happened. And of course, there's nothing like seeing other people's mistakes when it comes to helping us become better drivers. And please remember, on all the clips, yes, that's all the clips we show, no one, and that means no one, is seriously hurt. So drive safely. Not everyone is this lucky. Still to come on Car Crash TV, more balmy and frankly bonkers road use from all around planet Earth that, had it happened in Britain, would have resulted in the following contraventions of our oh-so-commendable highway code. Article 200. Choose an appropriate place to maneuver. If you need to turn your vehicle around, wait until you find a safe place. Article 211. It is often difficult to see motorcyclists and cyclists, especially when they're coming up from behind, coming out of junctions, at roundabouts, overtaking you, or filtering through traffic. The one about the blind spot actually being a real thing and not a myth. And from Stop I Want to Get Off, my guide to gaining maximum pleasure from your trip to the amusement park. Chapter 4. Spin equals sick. The road hog, so called due to their penchant for piggish behavior on the roads. Much like the animal variety of these species, they come in many different breeds, usually starting out life in something simple like a Fiat Punto or Ford Fiesta, before graduating into something more fitting, that's usually German and expensive. Let's see if you can spot a few in this next section. It shouldn't be hard. As I said in the intro, the road hog takes many forms, and here's an example of one of the more exotic breeds, the caterpillar. He may look different, but his personality is largely consistent with the rest of the species. Onwards to the trough. Oh God, this is disgusting. No, not that cyclist wearing lycra, although he is putting me off my mid-morning quiche. No, it's the fact that two road hogs have somehow each managed to procure a bus. On a bridge that narrow, this is only going to end one way. Predictable. And now the inevitable debate about which of the two is the biggest swine. I'll save you the bother, lads. You're both vile. The road hog is always looking for an opportunity to get right in the face of a fellow driver, even if that driver is behind them. Look how he subtly rolls back to bump the bumper of the car we're on board. You might think I'm being harsh, but just wait. Yep, out he gets to check there's no damage to his car. Oh, do stop rubbing the bumper, man. Road hogs are a competitive bunch too. Watch these two vying to be the first to gaze upon Banksy's latest offering. I don't know about you, but I think he's losing it. It's hardly Girl with the Red Balloon, is it? And to end with, an abracadabra special. Will the road hog appear from the left or the right? Abracadabra, it's the left! But to offer some small consolation to the victim, at least the hog was driving a recovery vehicle, and at least there's a garage over there, so the day's not a complete bust. We deliver a serious message on this show, but every once in a while we like to lighten the mood and do something a bit daft. But where do we look to for inspiration? Why, to the most ridiculous country on the planet, of course, the good old US of A. So grab yourself some popcorn, a big gulp and hot dog, and get ready for the latest thrilling installment of Stock Car Collisions. On board with Roscoe Haypenny, who's making steady progress through the field. Roscoe hails from Roswell, so it's safe to say he's had his fair share of close encounters. So far, though, he's managed to avoid having one on this run. But wait! An unidentified object just crossed his path, ending his run. The truth is out there, Roscoe, and it's an impressive run of 20 seconds. Bravo! Entering the fray from the pit lane is young newcomer Camilla Suggs. Fresh-faced and sporting a fresh set of tires, we're expecting big things from this little lady. Wait, where is she going? That is not the racing line, young lady. Heck, it's not even the track. And your run is over for 15 seconds. Yes, you should look shocked, little miss. Next time, pay attention in the briefing. The favorite, Corky Barksdale here. He's making good time, but wait, there's some debris in the road. He's okay, but that obstacle has proven to be Corky's undoing, as his run is over for a meager 7 seconds. I smell foul play, and it stinks of bad boy Jerry Loach. There's Jerry now, looking to profit from his despicable behavior, so it looks like we're about to find out if crime does pay. It doesn't, and the Karma Police have called this one in, as Jerry has lost control and plowed into Holden Fox to bring his run to an end for a paltry 11 seconds. Our last driver today is Cletus Fleeman, from the great state of Alabama. A simple southerner by heart, Cletus is just happy to be here. And heck, he might have a chance of winning this one, but not if Roscoe Haypenny has his way. More dirty tactics as Roscoe cuts in to end Cletus's run for 18 seconds, just too shy of a winning score. So it seems I was wrong, and foul play does pay, with victory for Roscoe Haypenny. I'm off to try and clean up this corrupt sport before you join us again for more Stock Car Collisions. Jealousy is a cruel mistress. My cruel mistress was particularly jealous of my Mercedes. Not to worry though. After the divorce, I couldn't afford to keep it anyway. Jealousy occurs on the road for me too. I can't help but get a little green-eyed Gary at the sight of an expensive motor. And the only thing to assuage this is watching the driver ruin it. Nice car, shame about the driver, is this catharsis. But because not everything's about me, this week I'm dedicating the feature to my mistress of old by shining the spotlight on her favorite German automobile. And there she is, folks. Sorry to pause before we've even begun, but let me share something I hope you'll appreciate as much as me. See the distinctive Mercedes badge? Nice, isn't it? You know what the nicest thing about it is? It's that if you keep your eye on the exact point where all three lines meet in the middle of the badge, it can often locate the exact point of impact for you before an accident occurs. Here, have a try. Close enough, right? Here, let's go again. Relish the fact that he bought the thing with unsavory tax avoidance. That's a big bill, people. 500,000 rubles, in fact. This Merc driver bought a stick-on AMG badge for the back bumper to let everyone know he went for the very top spec. For some, that's like a red rag to a bull. 250,000 rubles, and that's not covered by insurance because the offending van just tailed it down the highway. Jealousy is a terrible thing. Spoiler alert, it's not a coincidence that Merc rhymes with Burke. The Burke in this Merc should really keep further back from the Burke in the Merc in front, as it looks like there's some dangerous driving at work. See? Spoiler alert. If you're planning on slamming into the one belonging to the Merc in front, first double check it doesn't belong to officers of the law. What? You don't believe that Merc's a real police car? Spoiler alert. That means he's even more dangerous than you first thought. 200,000 rubles just became 400,000. And be happy that you're walking away with your kneecaps intact. Oh golly, look at that weather. Chilling stuff. The driver of the Merc in this clip has decided to rush back home to get cozy in front of the log burner. If she leaves it too long, she'll have to make small talk with Jeeves while he's clearing her a path to the door. And that's what you get for rushing. 300,000 rubles, please. Just one round of logs for you tonight, milady. Okay, here we have... Hang on. What's this supposed to mean? This clip doesn't have a Merc in it, but a BMW is German, so it's close. Is this a joke? What are we paying our team of researchers for if they can't finish things off properly? And the geek who does graphics, I know we don't technically pay him, but he worked hard on our Mercedes-Benz stamp. This is an insult to his dedication. Ugh. Here's a BMW, which is close to being a Mercedes, getting close to another BMW, which is close to being a Mercedes. 300,000 rubles to fix the Beamer, and I'm putting it towards getting some new staff who won't settle for the tenuous easy option. No, not you, Andy. You keep doing graphics for your CV, there's a good chap. So our grand total is an eye-watering 1,750,000 rubles. Break out the cooking brandy. Tonight we celebrate. When learning to drive a motor vehicle, there's a lot to take on board, and once you've passed your driving test, it's very easy to forget some of those important things you were taught, like the turn in the road, the reverse round the corner, and the parallel park. The last one I remember finding particularly taxing, but in the great county of Yorkshire, they have no such problems. In fact, they've mastered the art of the park. So let's celebrate some more of these motoring marvels with Jeff Bird and the Yorkshire Parking Bulletin.
Evening, lads and lasses, and we start today on the M621, just outside Leeds. Not an ideal place to park, granted, but sometimes the Yorkshire folk just can't help themselves. This chap clearly likes a challenge, and that's a tight spot he's aiming for. Might take him a while, so let's come back to him shortly and see how he's getting on. If parking lot's full, like this one in Hull, don't be afraid to take your vehicle inside. Tight entrance, but he's negotiated it beautifully. Don't scoff. He's been looking to get rid of that door for weeks. Champion. It's Judgment Day in Ripon, and somebody's about to be furnished with the Rosette. Parker of the Year 2018. Congratulations, lad. You've earned it. Now go and celebrate with a pint of mild and some pork scratchings. Meanwhile, back in Leeds, our man is determined to achieve parking perfection. That's the attention to detail I like to see. Getting out to measure the gap. Yorkshire folk really are perfectionists. You take a moment to steel yourself for the big finish, lad, and we'll be back shortly. Here in Barnsley, you're about to witness something heartwarming. Did you spot it? Yeah. That chap was so impressed by the blue van's parking that he's giving him a Barnsley bump. Ain't no greater accolade round these parts. They'll be friends for life now. Unless, of course, we get to see a Normanton nudge. But they're rarely dished out in this day and age. Well, shut me up. That is a blast from the past. Good to see you keeping the old traditions alive, lad. And finally, back to Leeds, where our man is looking to wrap up this bit of reverse parking in style. Lovely. Magic. Belting. Don't get parking like that in Norfolk. Jeff Bird, signing off.
Coming up later on Car Crash TV, we endure some appalling behaviour in 4x4 fails. Have a bit of fun by playing the blame game. And to wrap things up, get the latest breaking news in Watch Out, There's a Larder About. But first, ooh, you're a big boy, and you're carrying quite a load. Watch that corner, though. Looks a bit tight, and I wouldn't want you to come a cropper when we find out what happens next. It'll tip you over. Welcome back to Car Crash TV. So what did happen next? Well, our big boy is coming up to a tight turn, and I have tried to warn him to proceed with care. Let's see if he heeded my advice. No, he did not. You'd think they'd use something other than gravity to secure that shipping crate, wouldn't you? I blame Sir Isaac Newton. Four by fours are great, aren't they? Not only are they designed to be able to drive completely off-road, but the status one brings also ends up moving everyone else off the road. Perfect. What's not so perfect, though, is when they start moving people off the road using their own significant weight. Here's some 4x4 drivers taking their status too far. So, are we in the 4x4 here, folks? Or is our big boy going to enter the fray from elsewhere? Here's a clue. A 4x4 driver wouldn't dream of having such a low-definition dash cam as the one we're watching now. So where is our chunky monkey? Here's another clue. 4x4 drivers like to think of themselves as the most dominant breed on the road. And so, if they ever come across a vehicle that happens to be even bigger than theirs, they start to get wheelie jealous. This innocent public transportation unit is about to get stopped in its tracks. There he is. Looking good, my friend. Remember to try and intimidate the driver of the truck who comes to tow you away. You're a 4x4 driver, after all. 4x4s suffer from a chronic lack of patience. Observe this fine specimen who's kindly visualizing that point for me. yet. There's not enough road to overtake on, so just balance your vehicle precariously between tarmac and dirt track. What better way to optimize your traction than spin around to milk the adoration from the crowd? From time to time, our monsters of the road become green-eyed monsters. Any other cars that cost a couple of quid can bring on the jelly belly. Merc drivers in particular, be wary. What we have to remember is that 4x4 drivers are very busy people. Whereas you and I have the liberty of just driving to work, these guys have to juggle with also being on their phone shopping for the seasonal lounge furniture swap around. Sometimes, the multitasking of driving and phone shopping can lead to incidents like this. I can confirm that the driver here was able to complete his purchase of a new sheepskin rug. Rest easy, people. And it's not just furniture. Guest houses, art insurance, artificially intelligent company. There's lots to buy when you're a 4x4 driver. This one is trying to get through all of the above in one go by securing a package deal. But unfortunately, he's spending too much time looking at that package rather than the big one in front of his face. I'm sorry to say that by the time the police were done with him, he'd missed out on his first choice robot. The people of the world have had enough. These wannabe tank drivers have been dominating our roads for too long. It's time to take a stand. Is that the best you can do? If the revolution is going to be successful, perhaps it will need to invest in some more powerful vehicles. A fleet of 4x4s, perhaps? I don't like to blame people unfairly, though if your name is Neil, I tend to make an exception as the odds are generally stacked quite heavily against it. No, if I'm going to hold someone accountable, I like to make sure I've taken time to consider all the evidence in front of me. And I like to turn that deliberation into a fun little game. Perhaps you've heard of it. Let's blame game.
Evening, folks, and welcome along to the blame game. I'm feeling kind today, so I'm going to ease you in gently with a simple one. We've frozen the action right before the moment metal meets metal, but who's to blame for this imminent impact? Well, if you cast your gaze to the left of the screen, you'll see a green light that means go for the red car and blame for the silver one. Moving on, and this is a dark and dingy day, so you'll need a keen eye to spot the moment of madness that's about to take place in the distance. A crash at a crossroads. Classic blame game scenario this, and another easy win for the keen-eyed amongst you. There, on the left, is a lovely green light, which means it's blame to this guy who's tried to turn in front of an SUV. Not a filter light in sight, my friend. You are guilty as charged. I've been kind to you so far, so it's time to kick things up a gear. Keep your eyes peeled, my friends. The clue is there, but it's a very, very brief one. Even the crash happens off camera. But did you spot the clue as to who's at fault for this one? The black car or the glue? Okay, wind it back and let's dig in. Now, I know what you're thinking. That green light there means our friend in the black is absolved of all blame. But you'd be wrong. There's a second set of lights coming up, and if we freeze on this frame, you'll see at the very top of the screen that they are on red. So, it's blame to the black car and a pat on the back to everyone who spotted that first time round. And to end on something a little bit different. That car is about to rear-end the one in front, but which of them is to blame for the bump on the bum that's in the offing? Well, if we wind back a touch, you'll see a sign there to indicate there's a pedestrian crossing coming up. And those two people there would be pedestrians, which means the car at the front was right to stop and the car at the back should be paying more attention to the infrastructure. All together now. Blame! That was mighty satisfying, I must say. Let's do it again soon on The Blame Game.
The roads are not safe. In fact, even the pavements are perilous at the moment. And the dirt roads, and the footpaths. Basically anywhere you can get a small boxy Russian car is strictly off limits and out of bounds. The threat level continues to remain at severe, so please do not leave the confines of your house. This is a CCTV News special report with Chad Dexter. Do I really need to say it again? Watch out! There's a larder about!
Our first report comes from Madrid, where the creatures have become emboldened. Not content with single prey, they are now planning their attacks to capture multiple targets. This individual was only successful in disabling one innocent, but the intent was there to take out a further 2 cars and a pair of pedestrians, so it is crucial we all remain vigilant. On the sunny streets of Los Angeles, this horrible creature used an SUV as cover. By the time our driver had become aware of its presence, it was already too late. The attack, swift, precise, and devastating. Meanwhile, just outside Stockholm, one of the beasts shows the full extent of its power. As we pass, it seems this specimen is uninterested in causing harm, but its mere presence has sent that poor pedestrian into a wild panic. Disorientated, the poor man doesn't realize he's in the road, and although he escapes unscathed, another 2 comrades sadly fall. Footage now coming in from Copenhagen, where motor vehicles are scarce due to the environmentally conscious beliefs. As a result, the ladders have started to turn on each other. Yes, it's 2 more off the road, but this chilling footage only goes to highlight their unquenchable thirst. Some CCTV footage now from Sydney, Australia, and another prime example of the creature's cunning. Not content with inconveniencing 1 car, this beast positions itself perfectly so as to take out 2. And look, just over there, another one watches on with delight. Disgusting. And finally, a good news story, as in Istanbul, the local public transport fleet have taken the fight to the streets, and by God if they're not winning. Bravo, my friends, bravo. By working together, we can, nay, we will prevail. This is Chad Dexter signing off and reminding you once more to watch out. There's a Lada about.